There's so many different ways out there to measure body fat percentage. And if you're looking to burn body fat and build muscle, you have to make sure you're following one that actually works and is consistent and precise. Today, I'm gonna break down 3 different versions of different measurements to measure your body fat percentage. I'm gonna show you the difference between how they actually work. And most importantly, I'm gonna teach you, yes, you the viewer, how to do it by yourself at home or at your local gym. If you're ready, let's go. Before I pop in here and show you the 3 different methods, I want you guys to understand the importance of measuring body fat percentage. Real reason is this: you want to distinguish between lean mass and fat mass. It doesn't matter what your total weight is, because as you build muscle tissue throughout your process, your weight may go up. But if your percentage is dropping, that's an amazing thing for you. So we typically have your traditional scale. This is what you see at your doctor's office. They want to go by height, they want to go by weight. But the biggest problem and flaw with this is it doesn't calculate body fat percentage. And if you're a female or a male that's mesomorphic, that holds a lot more muscle tissue, you may get upset because the weight on here is gonna have a high number. So I'm gonna hop on here and see what goes on. As I hop on here, we're gonna look at balancing my weight. Okay, we're gonna go to your average measuring tape. Now, this has been a staple for many, many years. It's accurate, yes, but again, is it giving you percentage of body fat and telling you what's lean mass and fat mass? No. If you're gonna use it at home, very simple. I go by 7 landmarkings. Get yourself in front of a beautiful mirror. Let's measure up. First measurement is gonna be your neckline. You wanna go around here, and as you can see here, I'm gonna measure in at 15.5, okay? I'm gonna write that down. Next, we're gonna work on your chest measurement here. You always wanna go around and stick at the top part of the breast line. So if I go across here, I can easily measure. I'm gonna come across nice and relaxed. Now, the biggest mistake people do is they pull on the measuring tape tight, and now I'm at a 45, but if I relax here and just breathe out, I can see I'm at a 43.5, okay? So I'm gonna log that down. Next, we wanna look at measuring your arms. It's very important. The biggest problem is people measure their arms flat and relaxed, which isn't gonna show the muscle density. What you wanna do is flex it nice and high, go to the middle of the bicep area, the biggest peak, and if I squeeze as hard as I can, I'm at a 16.5. The importance of flexing the muscle and doing the measurements is you're gonna get the muscle at its highest contractible pace. You wanna make sure that if I'm flexing right now, whatever is remaining is body fat. If my hand is down here, it's soft, so the measurement's not gonna be as accurate. And because we're working out and flexing, we wanna see flex position, so as the months progress and the body fat drops, you can see if the increase is gonna be muscle tissue or if you're gaining weight, if it's fat tissue. Next measurement we're gonna look at is thighs. So for the thigh measurements, you wanna try to go from a side profile, and as I'm looking at myself in the mirror from the side profile, I wanna go at the lowest peak where the glutes and the hamstring are gonna tie in, which is gonna be right around here. Now, as you can see, you wanna make sure that the measuring tape is nice and relaxed, okay? So I'm at a 24 inches. The next measurement is gonna be your glute area. Glutes are super important because most of the power from the entire body comes from there. If you're doing this by yourself, just go in the mirror, go sideways, come across, and again, I'm going at the biggest landmarking part of the glute in the side. If I come through here, I'm at 41 inches, okay? Next, we're gonna look at calf measurements. Calf measurement, again, you wanna go from the midpoint of the tibia and fibula bone. Once I wrap around, let's see if this matches my neck. Not really. So we're at a 15 on one side, and we're probably gonna be at 15.25 on the next side. Everyone always wants to measure their waistline at a spot that makes them feel comfortable. Where is that? Usually below the muffin top. So if guys have the body fat hanging over, they're gonna go down here where it's gonna be lowest. No, we wanna make sure we go with the widest circumference from a horizontal view. So if I'm standing horizontal, I wanna get some of the love handles. I'm gonna go across, and I'm gonna get the widest circumference. So now if I go through here, I'm at a 35.25 waistline. So now, although this may not give you a percentage of body fat reading, it's an accurate measurement to add as well with the body fat percentage, because it's gonna keep you regulated on each different body part. Here's why. Let's say you're losing body fat, and you're not losing as much in the midsection, but your legs are dropping and your arms are dropping. It's giving you an indication that you're using heavy weight for the big extremities, and it's also showing you that the main area where you want to lose body fat is not dropping down as fast. So what do? You focus on nutrition, you focus on your training, and you go back every week to change it up. Next, we're gonna talk about the skinfold calipers. No, this is not a prehistoric machine to make people have pain. This actually is very accurate. The only difference is you need to be under 15% or lower to make sure it's accurate. Reason being is the more fat people hold, the harder it is to actually pull the fat from the body and separate what's gonna be just adipose tissue and what's muscle tissue. So for this one over here, it covers 4 landmark readings. I'll do the first one right here. I'm gonna pull it and pull as little amount of body fat as you can see. And as you can see over here, I'm getting a reading of a number 3. I'm gonna go for the tricep one as well. I'm gonna go below the arm. I'm gonna let this hang. Okay, that's accurate. And if I go to the bottom, I can look at the number here, and that number is a 4. Next one is gonna be the iliac crest. So what you wanna do here is you wanna drop down your pants. Don't worry, this is an R-rated show. We're gonna grab onto here. So you wanna look at where that bone is. You wanna go right above it. That little bit of inch of body fat from that percentage area there. I'm gonna grab it, I'm gonna pull it, okay? And I'm looking at my number. I got a number of 5. For the last one, I'm gonna have one of my helpers help out. What you wanna do is you wanna put one hand behind your back, and we're gonna have the beautiful Fabian. He's just gonna pinch the middle part of my fat right here. Pull it out, brother, that's it. 11, okay. So then what you do is simply add everything up. I got 22 millimeters as my ranking. And now if I go over here and I go based on age category, I'm 47, I go to 22, I mark across, and this got me a 13.5% body fat. But again, if you're 20, 30, 40% body fat, it won't be accurate because you can't pull the body fat away from the muscle tissue. Now the pros of using this, super easy, and you can have someone else help you do it, or you could do it by yourself. Now, some of the cons are the landmarking regions. If one time you measure yourself at this position and the next month it's lower, then the next month it's higher, not having the proper landmarking areas can give you skewed results. Next, we have the bioelectrical impedance machines. Now, these used to be always used in the gyms. When I grew up, people were always using these ones because they're inexpensive and you can move them around to different offices. The only difference is this is gonna capture the electrical current that goes through your torso from the only upper body area, which means you're missing the lower body, and a lot more of your body fat is gonna be lower dominant, okay? So how this works is very simple. I'm gonna turn it on, okay? Now this is based on formula. It's gonna take my height, age, weight, and your sex. So I'm gonna say guest, yep. And I'm gonna say instead of normal, I'm gonna say athlete, because obviously I want the computer to know that I have a lower percentage of body fat. I'm gonna put in my height, I'm gonna put in my weight, and I know that I'm 192. And these are very easy to use, but I don't think they're as accurate because we're missing that lower part of the body, okay? So I'm gonna hit start, I'm gonna hold on to this, arms straight out, you won't feel a thing. It sends a small current through your upper torso. The current travels faster through lean tissue than it will through fat tissue because lean tissue holds more water. However, look at that, 16.3% body fat. I am not 16.3% body fat. So this can be skewed again, and it can give you a reading which will be inaccurate. However, if you don't have access to anything and you're only gonna use one machine and only one machine, every month, if that number is going lower, you're getting results. So don't freak out if you don't have enough money to get an InBody machine or you can't buy an expensive scale. Now, a lot of scales today come with the lower and upper portion together. InBody is probably one of the most paramount scales you can use. A lot of sports athletes and doctors use this one. Okay, my heels are on the electrodes, my arms are wide. Now, it's very important to do this on a regular basis at the same time each week. It's also important to make sure that if I didn't have breakfast today and I'm doing it in the morning, I'm gonna do the same way every week. You don't wanna be eating breakfast and doing it, then doing it at nighttime, and then at 9 o'clock at night, because the control variables are not accurate. So this gave me another one. It gave me 8.7% body fat. As you can see, there's differences to each different machine. Now, if I hit print, that'll show me the differences, not just in weight, percentage of body fat, but skeletal muscle mass. How much muscle tissue do I have? How much body fat mass do I have? You'll notice that Even though my weight was 193 back in April 28th of this year, my percentage was 11. So it drops down to 9, 10, 10, 10, 10, 11, back down to 8. Now, pay attention here, 97 to 101. This is telling me that I've gained a good 4 pounds or 3 pounds of muscle mass and I've lost percentage. Even though my weight is below 190 for someone like me that always wants to be heavier and stronger, if I didn't do the percentage measurement today, I may be upset. I may be frustrated. I might say, you know what? I lost weight. Screw it. I'm going to go eat shitty today. So it's very important that you track your body fat percentage on a regular basis. And you don't have to buy an InBody machine because they sell other machines, Withings. There's InBody scales where you can actually step on it and grab onto a handheld device to hold on to that. So guys, in conclusion, you can see that we did calipers, we did handheld devices, and we did full body. I'm the same guy, but you get 3 different readings. So it doesn't mean it's a problem and you should worry about which one you use. What you should pay attention to is the consistency of the method. Make sure it's the same time you're using it every day. Make sure it's the same place you're measuring. The method. You can't use handheld one day, then full body the next day, and calipers. And your meals. Make sure that you're not going full stomach one time, empty stomach the next time. But to give you a summary, if you're doing the body comps on a regular basis and whichever one you use is dropping down in percentage, that's the main thing you want to pay attention to, because at the end of the day, you want results, you don't want to stress, and you don't want to be sitting there being so frustrated that you decide to quit. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, send me a like, send me a comment. I want to know what you want to hear about more often, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.